Sean Kingston didn't just fall off the music scene. He got exposed in a shocking turn of events that revealed a web of alleged deception and fraud. The man behind hits like Beautiful Girls was accused of finessing luxury brands, skipping invoices, and using Justin Bieber's name to manipulate his way into high-end schemes, fake receipts, unpaid jewelry, cars he never owned, and a sound system deal that led to federal charges. It was all part of a plan to portray a lavish lifestyle without actually paying for it. In court, he cried out to protect his mother, who was also implicated in the alleged scams. This wasn't just mismanagement, it was a premeditated strategy to maintain the illusion of wealth and status. For years, Sean Kingston managed to keep up appearances, but the truth eventually came to light. The mansion was borrowed, the fame was fading, and the lifestyle was allegedly built on lies. It wasn't a simple downfall, it was a carefully orchestrated long con that fooled many. Prosecutors revealed that Sean and his mother went to great lengths to maintain their facade, using fake wire transfers, phony receipts, and empty promises to keep the fantasy alive. They allegedly deceived companies across state lines using luxury items as props in their elaborate show. But their scheme unraveled when one sound system company decided to take legal action, leading to federal investigations that exposed the extent of their alleged deception. And here's the kicker, this wasn't Janice Turner's first time dabbling in fraud. Before Sean Kingston's rise to fame, she had already served time for similar crimes. The truth behind Sean Kingston's fall from grace was far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. It wasn't just a music career coming to an end. It was a full-blown white-collar crime ring that finally met its downfall. The curtain had dropped on their performance, Art of Delusion, revealing a tale of deception and deceit that shocked the world. 2 months later, her son's song explodes on the charts. Coincidence, maybe, but zoom out and it starts looking like a mob family with a record deal. The timing was too perfect. The music dropped. The cash flowed. And a convicted fraudster just happened to be back in the picture. So when people saw Sean flexing Bentleys, iced-out chains, and flying private, they thought he made it. But what if the real hustle was never music? What if the whole career was just camouflage? The music stopped. The tours dried up. But the Bentleys kept rolling, and the diamonds still danced under camera flashes. That's not perseverance, that's a red flag. With chrome rims. While most celebrities downsize quietly when the checks stopped clearing, Sean Kingston kept the fantasy alive like it was still 2007. But here's the twist. He didn't do it alone. His mom, Janice Turner, wasn't just helping with family dinners. According to federal prosecutors, she was helping run a 5-count wire fraud operation. This wasn't VH1's Family Hustle. This was the FBI's greatest hits. So no, this wasn't some tragic fall from fame. This was a script playing out for years. The only surprise is that it took this long to hit the final scene. And when it did, the courtroom lights weren't kind. Sean's defense, a masterpiece of confusion. He didn't do it, but if he did, it wasn't on purpose. And if it was, he was just a lost kid. A kid who's 35. His lawyers painted him as financially naive, too famous to notice the fraudulent wires, the fake documents, and the ghost receipts. Meanwhile, Janice took the stand. Bold move. Because while Sean played silent, Janice rolled the dice. But when your answer to why did you fake proof of payment for luxury cars, jewelry, and electronics is basically I didn't know, it doesn't land well, especially when you've already done time for bank fraud. Back in 2006, there's Clueless, and then there's You've Already Been Caught, doing this exact thing once before. The whole saga was nothing short of a spectacle. When the verdict came down, everything fell apart. Sean couldn't hold back his tears as his mother was taken away in handcuffs. In a desperate cry, he pleaded for someone to protect his mother. But the sad truth was that they weren't protecting each other at all. They were merely upholding a facade of luxury and status. The jury saw right through their charade. The judge wasted no time in delivering justice. Janice was taken into custody without a chance for goodbyes. As for Sean, he was confined to house arrest, with the looming threat of a possible 20-year sentence for federal wire fraud. And if you think the story couldn't get any more absurd, just wait. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill fraud case. It was fraud with a celebrity twist. When Sean Kingston wanted an extravagant sound system for his mansion, he didn't just promise to pay for it. He dangled the prospect of exposure, even going as far as dropping Justin Bieber's name into the mix. He attested that Bieber would make an appearance in the promotional video. Spoiler alert, he never did. It was a case of smoke and mirrors, a grand illusion propped up by the glitz and glamour of the music industry. On one hand, there was the distraction of a flourishing music career. On the other hand, there stood the harsh reality of a federal case. Sean Kingston didn't just tell a lie. He managed to entangle himself in a federal case by name-dropping his way through the ordeal. It all started with a simple request for a luxury entertainment system. But then he weaved a web of deceit, so wild that you'd only expect to hear it at a tipsy high school reunion. "I'll star in your video," he said, and then came the bombshell. Justin Bieber will be in it too. Yes, you heard that right. As if the megastar, who can't even take a stroll through an airport without being hounded by paparazzi, would agree to lend his star power to someone else's home speaker setup. It was bold. It was audacious. It was the kind of lie that required a level of delusion usually reserved for Olympic athletes, and a deadpan expression that could rival any poker face, especially when we all know that Bieber hasn't returned Kingston's texts since who knows when. It was a whirlwind of fame, fraud, and fantasy that catapulted Sean Kingston into a realm where reality and illusion collide. So when the dust settled and the truth came to light, it was a harsh reality check for everyone involved. It's no secret that Sean and Justin's friendship has been on the rocks lately. It's like that one childhood friend who struck it big and suddenly doesn't recognize you at Whole Foods. Well, Sean Kingston took it a step further and used Justin Bieber's name to lure in a company, and they fell for it big time. The lie about Bieber's involvement was so outrageous that it sparked a lawsuit that exposed everything. Verve, the company that got scammed, wasted no time lawyering up and taking the case to court, leading the feds to get involved. Here's the kicker. If Kingston hadn't dragged Bieber into the mess, he might have gotten away with the scam. But using the international superstar's name as a silent business partner was a step too far. It wasn't just fraud. It was like something out of a fantasy novel, with a federal twist. Reality has caught up with Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner. They are now facing 5 counts of wire fraud, which could land them up to 100 years in federal prison. Janice, being a repeat offender, was immediately sent to jail. No ankle monitor or delay. Sean, on the other hand, is out on house arrest, but is not free from the impending sentencing in July. Even if he avoids serious prison time, his reputation has already taken a hit that he can't recover from. He went from being the artist with a summer hit in 2007 to a federal defendant with a broken track record. And the fact that he tried to pull Justin Bieber into the fraudulent scheme was the final nail in the coffin. It wasn't just a bad decision. It's practically ended his career. Hey there, let's talk about money. You remember Sean Kingston, right? The guy who once had millions? Well, allegedly, but now it's a different story. Lawsuits, seized assets, unpaid bills, and legal fees have left him in a bad place. He's probably broke. Like, sell the sound system you didn't pay for broke. And it's really sad, because he had a real shot at success. He was on his way to becoming the first Jamaican-American artist to top the Billboard charts in decades. He had the backing of top labels, was co-signed by Bieber, and had global appeal. But instead of being responsible with his money, he chose to keep up the facade of being rich, even after the music stopped. And now he's a cautionary tale, a one-hit wonder who turned into a con artist. He even cried out in court to protect my mother as he watched her getting handcuffed in real time. This isn't some Netflix drama with a dramatic ending. It's real life, and for Kingston, it's all about federal time, a tarnished reputation, and a legacy that's defined more by court transcripts than chart numbers. I'm Jordan, and this is True Story. And this is how a platinum record turned into a paper trail.